Hey guys, hope you're all well. I just read this article and got pretty upset. So I thought I'd come on and just show you what I'm reading and what is on the front line, and another example of how I pity the propaganda machine that we are up against right now. Whoever wrote this article, Mr. Dave Johnson, I'm going to follow him and I'm going to tweet to him. And he has written this article, How to Geek, from his website. How worried should you be about the health risks of 5G? So he goes on and he writes about this article and he goes, 5G, the next generation of cellular technology for the next generation of smartphones, is imminent. And with it, their concern about health risks of this new, more powerful network. How worried should you be about the coming 5G health apocalypse? By now, you may have seen articles on Facebook or alternative health websites. The gist, 5G is dangerous. The gist, 5G is a dangerous escalation of traditional cellular technology, one packed with higher energy radiation that delivers potential damaging effects on human beings. Some 5G pundits contend that the new network generates radio frequency radiation that can damage DNA and lead to cancer, cause oxidative stress damage that can cause premature aging, disrupt cell metabolism, and potentially lead to other diseases through the generation of stress proteins. Some articles cite research studies and opinions by reputable organizations like the World Health Organization. It sounds worrisome, but let's take a look at the actual science. Okay, guys, I get really angry here. They go on, they say, what is 5G? 5G has been hyped for a few years, but this is the year that carriers begin the process of rolling out the new wireless standard. AT&T and Verizon and Sprint have all started to deploy their networks in the first half of the year, though widespread availability is still a year or more away. 5G will get a foothold in little more than a handful of cities this year. Then Mr. What's his name again? Dave Johnson goes on and talks about the 5G, and he goes on and does a little sales pitch here. And then he goes on an evolution of concerns. Before we address 5G, it's worth pointing out that the latest health fears about radiation aren't happening in a vacuum. There are some physics jokes out there, no doubt. Concerns about 5G are the latest iteration of decades of headlines about the dangers of electromagnetic radiation. We've seen controversy about everything from the health risks to Wi-Fi to smart meters. Electromagnetic hypersensitivity, for example, is a hypothetical disease in which certain people experience debilitating symptoms in the presence of radiation like cell phones and Wi-Fi. So yes, Michael McKean's bizarre behavior of Better Call Saul is a real thing. I'm going to just pause right now, guys. Being a health and wellness investigative journalist and having my fans and followers call me every single day, I know that this is very real. Electrical magnetic hypersensitivity is a very real symptom from microwave radiation. And I am very concerned, especially for the children who may be feeling these effects from microwave radiation in the school, but don't know how to verbalize this or articulate exactly what they're feeling. Because it's a feeling that's very synthetic. It's not real. It's very uncomfortable. Not that I suffer. Everybody suffers, and my hands are starting to suffer. But no, I've been upfront and personal with this. I've been inside a house, and I've stayed overnight in somebody that has removed all of their Wi-Fi radiation. And I can tell you, I sleep 100% better, and I feel better when I'm there. So this is It's almost like they're making fun of this, and I'm just letting you know that it's a very real thing. But despite people claiming such sensitivities for at least 30 years, systematic scientific reviews have found that blinded victims can't tell when they're in the presence of an electrical magnetic field, and the World Health Organization now recommends psychological evaluation for people so afflicted. Now, I have heard of this. Guys, listen, the other day when I was reading the article about the TSA whistleblower who complained about having cancer from the 5G machines at the airport, her and 28 colleagues got sick or died, and she wrote the president of the United States, Mr. Trump, wrote her back and suggested that she take a psychological evaluation and also suggested where she could get one. So this is real, guys. They are saying we, i.e. the activists that are saying that this stuff exists, that we are, well, we need to get evaluated. And let me just follow this link right here, because I'm going to show you, I've read this. This is quite good. This is the World Health Organization. As we know, this is a bogus air biscuit organization. And I've gone through this. They talk about what it is, the prevalence, studies. I mean, this right here is very wrong. This is wrong. Conclusions, this is wrong. I mean, there's two sides of this science, and it just depends on who you're going to believe. But then it goes down to what is going on with EHS individuals. Apart from treatment by professionals, notice how they don't say telco industry, self-help groups can be a valuable resource. No, they don't talk about dirty electricity filters. They don't talk about, the rocks that can, protect you from the Wi-Fi. I forget what those rocks are called, but there's so many other things that you can do. Self-help groups, come on. Government should provide appropriately targeted and balanced information about potential. Yeah, they don't provide this at all. The information should include a clear statement that no scientific basis currently exists for a connection between EHS and exposure to AMF. So that's in your eyes. This isn't in the WHO's eyes, but there's so many, there's like over 240 doctors and scientists from around the world that beg to differ. And there's Raymond Broomhall here in Australia, who's got at least 30 letters from doctors that say that their patients have been experiencing something and has to move the cell tower from their street. And that's been a success times 30. So if these 30 people, and these are just the people who are brave enough and have the energy to do something, if these people are, standing up, 30 people in my eyes is enough people. And anyways, we're going to go on. Likewise, decades of studies have found no links between cell phone and cancers like brain tumors, although that hasn't kept municipalities like San Francisco from passing laws requiring stores to display the radiation emitted by handsets, which implies in the minds of consumer risk. I didn't know about this, guys. Okay, so how dangerous is radio frequency radiation? Okay, so before I read this, guys, I'm going to just let you know that I have done my research, and I don't know if this is truth or not, but from what I have found, there are problems. There has been hidden information. There have already been tests, especially on the 5G, and they already know what this is going to do. And somehow it's gotten out and it's being rolled out. So before we read this, let's just take a break here. Give me 2 seconds to just catch my breath.
We're going to go and read How Dangerous is Radio Frequency Radiation? This thing is so ugly. Okay. At the root of all concerns about cell phone At the root of all concerns about cell phone networks is radio frequency radiation, RFR. RFR is anything emitted in the electromagnetic spectrum, from microwaves to X-rays to radio waves to light from your monitor or light from the sun. Clearly, RFR isn't inherently dangerous, so the problem becomes discovering under what circumstances it might be. Okay, they go into talking about it. What does Dr. Steve Novella say? Okay, Dr. Steve, I'm going to do some research on him, okay? I'm just going to show you how this happens. I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to go into this later. I'll follow up on this, guys. I'm going to do more research on him coming soon. An assistant, he must be junior, probably 1 year in, of neurology at Yale, okay, and the editor of Science-Based Medicine, which we already know is a captured, we already know that, understands that people generally get concerned about radiation. Using the terms radiation is misleading because people think of nuclear weapons. No, I think of microwave, actually. They think of ionizing radiation that absolutely can cause damage. It can kill cells. It can cause DNA mutations, but since non-ionizing radiation doesn't cause DNA damage or tissue damage, Novella says that most concern about cell phone RFR is misplaced. There is no known mechanism for most forms of non-ionizing radiation to even have a biological effect. Or, unless the refined but more visceral word of author C. Stuart Hardwick, radiation isn't magic death cooties. This is bullshit, guys. I read something so different. I mean, from the complete opposite side of the spectrum. I'm sorry, I'm not a very good reader at the moment. I'm actually tired. I just got back from a 2-hour drive, and I wasn't going to come on here. But again, I find this jaw-dropping that I am reading this. This is propaganda, and it sucks. Who writes this? Like, who is writing for this howtogeek.com? I mean, are there people that really believe that this is safe and that it's not magic death cooties? Like, who would write that article anyway? I want to follow this link. Let's see what this has to say. Who is this? C. Stuart. The Many Faces of Radiation. Radiation is a catch-all term left over from the late 19th century, before we knew much about physics. It applied equally to various types of nuclear emissions and also to electromagnetic emissions, but these are not all the same. Before I go on, guys, I know so many people who are engineers. I know people that are in the telco industry. I know people that know about quantum physics, know about energy. Can you guys just chime in and just join this conversation, please? Electrical magnetic radiation includes a wide spectrum of wavelength, each with a different energy. Yes, we know this is true. We've all seen this. We've all seen this. I'm just skimming, guys, because this just looks like air biscuits. Looks like just this is what they do. They just write something and they'll just fucking put words that don't really mean anything. Then they go into, we're not talking about Earth, okay? And this, I mean, this, how do we know this? What does radioactive mean, guys? It's radioactive because we've been putting radioactive material into it. And see, by the way, per kilowatt hour generated, wind power kills 5 times as many people as nuclear. This is bullshit. Like, this, okay, so this is a fake article, guys. This is a fake article written by someone who is fake, or they think that they are real. So this is how propaganda goes. You see, like they've now linked to this, but this is an Air Biscuit article, so that means nothing. You start to sniff this out, guys. Anyways, let's size up the risks of 5G. Okay, this is another rogue element, a rogue organization. It contends that the 5G will require the build out of literally hundreds of thousands of new wireless antennas in neighborhoods. That's true. Cities and towns, true. A cellular small cell or other transmitter will be placed. Yes. Oh, here comes Novella again. So what they're really saying is the dose is going to be higher, theoretically. This is a reasonable question to ask. We're still talking about power and frequency less than light. You go, no. Oh my God, this is just such bullshit. We're still talking about power and frequency less than light. You go out in the sun and you're bathed in electrical magnetic radiation that's far greater than these of 5G cell towers. This is a freaking lie. I'm going to do more research, guys. I'm coming back with this, guys. Okay, I'm going to follow this link, see who wrote this. It's probably another Air Biscuit. Hi, I'm David. I don't know about David. I've never met him before. Okay, so he talks about why 5G is a bit more dangerous. Let's see what he has to say. I'm just going to play. I don't know if it's going to echo or not, but let's just see. You'll tell right away if he's on our side or not. It's not even about being on our side, but...
Is 5G technology more dangerous than 2, 3, and 4G? Short answer is yes. I want to explain it to you. So, we're all familiar with regular electricity that turns our lights on and runs our appliances. As regular electricity increases in frequency to the point where it becomes airborne, it becomes electromagnetic radiation. And there's this thing called electromagnetic spectrum. On the low end, you have things like radio waves, AM and FM radio waves. You get up ways, up higher, you get into things like microwaves. You get all the way to the top, you get to things like X-rays and gamma rays. The higher you go up the spectrum, the shorter the wavelength, which means the higher the frequency. The higher the frequency, the more dangerous it is to us. On the lower end with the AM and FM radios, you've got the lower frequency, which means longer radio waves. So let me explain to you the difference between 2, 3, and 4G and 5G. So with 2, 3, and 4G, they use between 1 and 5 gigahertz. Compare that to 5G that uses between 24 and 90 gigahertz. 90 gigahertz, to put that in perspective, is basically 90 billion electromagnetic waves hitting the cells in your body every second. It's much more radiation than what we're naturally exposed to. And I was reading an article the other day that says that they're estimating that as we get down the road a ways, 5G is going to use more than 90 gigahertz. There's a U.S. military has a crowd control microwave weapon that operates at 95 gigahertz, which is just 5 gigahertz higher than the 24 to 90 gigahertz of 5G. So, compared to 2, 3, and 4G, 5G uses ultra high intensity and ultra high frequency. So that's the first problem. The second
I like
problem is the wavelength, the millimeter wavelength that 5G uses is very, very short compared to 2, 3, and 4G. and very, very dense. What does that mean? It means that it doesn't travel very good. And things obstruct it, like a house or a tree or even the rain. And so somebody using their cell phone, we're used to good cell reception. You don't want to be walking around a tree and lose your cell signal. So what they're going to have to do to compensate for that, and the reason they want to use this is because it carries a tremendous amount of data, more data than 2, 3, and 4G. But to compensate for the losing the signal so easy, they're gonna need to put a lot more mini cell stations. We've all seen the big cell phone towers that we're used to seeing everywhere. We'll still have those, but we're also going to have a bunch of little mini cell stations. They're estimating that they'll need to have them between 2 and 8 houses, and won't use them as much because there'll be these little mini cell stations, we call them, and they'll be on the top of street lights or on the top of houses or whatever. And like I said, they're going to need to have them every 2 to 8 houses, so that when you're on your cell phone and you walk around that tree and you lose the signal, the cell phone, without you even realizing you lost your signal, will just grab it from a different cell tower or a mini cell station. And so that's the idea. So to kind of summarize, why is 5G more dangerous than 2, 3, and 4G? It's compared to 2, 3, and 4G, it's ultra high intensity, ultra high frequency, which the higher the frequency, the more dangerous it is to us. And we're going to have a lot more mini cell stations all around us putting off the radiation, so our exposure is going to be a lot higher. And then as soon as they start putting out all of these mini cell stations, like they're already doing it in some U.S. cities already now, the things like anything that you have in your house that's Wi-Fi is going to start coming out 5G. And so we'll have that radiation within our house as well. So I hope that explained it. I hope that answered your question. I hope I did it in a way that was understandable.
Yes, you did. Yes, he did, guys. Okay, so I'm going to just say that this was a nice little this is what you do as an investigative reporter. You follow the trail, and he is on our side. He knows exactly what is going on. So there you have it, right from the horse's mouth, guys. So sizing up the risks, there you have it. Size up the risks. I'm still going to see Mr. Novella. We should have a showdown with him and the guy that was on that video. Let's see what happens, because I guess this guy is showing two sides of the story, which is really good. I'm very glad he put that video there. I'm very glad my audience saw that. There you have, he looks like a normal human being from the middle of America. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for listening and paying attention. So let's just hear what the FCC has to say. Well, we do know that in 2001, the World Health Organization weighed in, classifying RF radiation as a group B, 2B agent, possibly carcinogenic to humans. Okay, well, we already know that. And then, he chimes in, Mr. Novella. You have to look at all the other things they classify as a possible carcinogenic. That is true. That's true. They put it in the same things as caffeine. Yes, that's true. Good point, Mr. Novella. They should move it up to a class 1 or 2A or whatever you freaking call the dangerous cancer. Okay, the part of the problem with the WHO declaration is that it's focused on hazard, not risk. This is more air biscuits, guys. You've got to understand, this is just trying to cause confusion. No, the part of the problem with the WHO is that they rely on studies that don't cover the whole story. Not risk. A subtle distinction between lost on non-scientists, not unlike the rigorous distinction between precision and accuracy. Precision refers to how tightly clustered your data is. Accuracy refers to how close the data is to real value. Okay, real value, we have freaking cancer clusters appearing next to these cell towers. What more do you want? You might have a dozen miscalibrated thermometers that are telling you the wrong temperature with a very high degree of precision. What? That is air, biscuits, confusion. What? When the WHO classifies coffee or nickel or pickles as possible carcinogenic, it's asserting hazard without regular for real world risk. That's confusion, explains Novella. What the hell are you talking about? A loaded pistol is hazardous because theoretically it can cause damage, yes, but if you lock it in a safe, the risk is eligible. What? That makes no sense to this freaking story. Okay, let's just read the final paragraph, and then I will conclude. But for now, everything we know about 5G networks tells us that there's no reason to be alarmed. That's right. After all, there are many technologies we use every day with a substantially higher measurable risk. And as Dr. Novella says, with the 5G hazard is low, but non-zero. Wait, what does he say? With 5G, the hazard is low, but non-zero, and the actual risks to be zero. We've picked up no signal in the real world. With 5G, the hazard is low, but non-zero, and the actual risk appears to be zero. This makes no sense. I'm going to read it one more time. And as Dr. Novella says, with 5G, the hazard is low, but non-zero, and the actual risk appears to be zero. We've picked up a no signal in the real world. Are they trying to make a joke? Are they trying to do a play on words? I don't really understand this at all. Can somebody, I'm going to tweet this, guys. Oh my God, this is just air biscuits. Air biscuits, anyone? By the way, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, I'm there. Guys, I'm gonna go, guys. I'm pretty pissed. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.